Take a look at this. On one side we have our character Grandma Elara as a beautifully framed high-resolution portrait in a visual novel. She's the heart of the dialogue, the centerpiece of the scene. On the other side is the exact same pixel art character, but she's a tiny, agile sprite inside a dark, physics-based horror platformer, running and jumping to survive. They are the same character, the same base asset, yet they function in two entirely different worlds, at completely different scales, and with zero file duplication. In traditional game development, the real chaos begins right after you create your final animations. You export sprite sheets, you have to manually resize them for a high-res build versus a low-res build, you rename the files, you reorganize folders, and before you know it, you've accumulated multiple redundant variations of the exact same character just to fit different screen sizes or gameplay contexts. What started as one beautiful asset quickly became 5, then 10, and your project folder descends into chaos. This is where AI game development fundamentally changes the workflow. We don't duplicate files, we use a structure system called manifest. One core asset, multiple game-specific configurations, no duplication, no file chaos. This video will show you how that system works, giving you a clean, scalable game development workflow that breaks the cycle of asset duplication. First, let's establish the foundation, art asset creation. We're going to create the base Grandma Elara pixel art character in our art studio. This simple action is an educational deep dive into the philosophy of centralized asset management in AI game development. The character details page is your single source of truth. It holds the one original master file of your character. Every animation, every sprite sheet, every manifest for every project, they all pull from this central page without creating redundant copies. This is crucial for long-term project health. Let's pause for a second and think about your current project folder. If you've been developing for any amount of time, you know what the setup looks like. You've got a folder named something like Grandma Final, then a backup named Grandma V2, a separate folder called Grandma VN Big, and maybe a half-finished sheet called Grandma Jumping Sheet. Which one is the real final one? It's a mess. How many versions of the same character exist just because different builds required a different size or setup? In a structured AI game development workflow, that number drops to 1. We replace file duplication, that folder chaos, with structure configuration. We turn that overwhelming mess into a single, clean asset entry that lives in a central library. This is the first and most important step in maintaining a professional development environment. Now for the key structural layer, the manifest system. From this single base Grandma Elara character, we're going to create two distinct character manifests, Grandma Elara, The Whispers of Destiny, and Grandma Elara, Granny's Night Terror. The first being the title of our visual novel, and the second being the name of our horror platformer. Here we also assign animations to both manifests. The beautiful thing is that we can use the same or completely different animations for each of our manifests. The character can still have her basic idle, walk, and run states, but the metadata and configuration of those states can differ per game without duplicating the art itself. This is also where naming conventions can become an absolute time saver. By naming your manifest by game title, like we did, you keep your builds organized and searchable. This is a small, tactical tip that prevents hours of manual file hunting later on. It's important to understand this. Manifests are not copies of the base asset. They are configuration layers. Think of them as game-specific profiles applied to the same core character file. The visual novel manifest can say, I need this character at 400% scale with a bottom center anchor point. While the horror platformer can say, I need the exact same character at 50% scale with a feet center anchor for collision. They are two completely different sets of instructions, but they are both talking to the same character art. To frame this clearly, you are not duplicating assets, you are defining game-specific profiles. This manifest system is the core structural layer that enables AI game development to scale without creating file chaos. Let's see this system in action. We'll jump into the games themselves. Here we have our visual novel environment, and there is our Grandma Elara The Whispers of Destiny manifest, large and perfectly suited for the game. And now, a quick transition to the platformer game, the Grandma Elara Granny's Night Terror manifest, where she functions perfectly as a small, agile character, ready for a completely different kind of gameplay. I will demonstrate that if you go back to the character details page and modify either manifest, that update can be used in that specific game. Look what happens when I add a new animation to our visual novel manifest. I can start using it right away to enhance our gameplay. Before, Grandma Elara would walk up and begin talking to the player. Now, she walks up, talks for a bit, walks to the left, and then continues talking to the character. And even better, all of this is happening without affecting the other manifest or games. 1 pixel art character, multiple game genres, 0 manual duplication. This is structured AI game development in practice, and it's the clean, professional workflow you should be using. Now that Grandma exists cleanly in both games, we have solved the problem of asset duplication. But how do you actually use the same base character and create different animations that fit in 2 different worlds? In the next video, we'll master sprite animations and show you just how easy it is to customize sprite sheets that fit your different games. If you are tired of managing duplicate files, rebuilding the same character for every project, and struggling with file chaos, it's time to switch to a structured workflow. Start your first character manifest at Makko.ai and begin building with an AI native game development workflow today. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next video on mastering sprite animations.